Hello, everyone. My name is Sarfraz Malik. I'm a solution architect with over 20 years' experience, and I've worked in various organizations, enterprise and small too. And in this video, we're going to take a real world problem that most existing enterprises would face, and we are going to solve that problem using Azure AI services. Stay tuned. Nexio Electronics is a major player in their industry. They have a standard three-tier application architecture. They have a product database, which is fronted by a business layer and a rule engine. The business layer exposes an API, which is then fronted by an API management layer, which is then consumed by the customer website as well as the agent and a back office website. The company's agents, which are humans, they consume this agents and back office website along with the company's knowledge bases, images, and other materials hosted in a blob storage. Nexio Limited is hosting all of their infrastructure in Microsoft Azure. The problem statement is Nexio Limited is working under budgetary constraints and would like to automate their customer support with scalable AI agents. AI agents must serve up all data and knowledge in an effective manner. The solution must minimize development efforts and reuse existing infrastructure and components where possible. Is the target architecture that we will be building? We will be building an MCP server on top of an existing Azure API management API exposed by the Nexio Electronics business layer. We will also be utilizing Azure AI Foundry along with the agentic workflows and tools. We'll be using RAG and Open API LLM models. The LLM models will be consuming Azure AI Search for their RAG. Azure AI Search will be using skill sets such as Azure AI Vision and OCR, which will enable the LLM models to query over the company's knowledge base and images. So the idea is that the smart LLM agents are going to be consuming this existing API as well as the data from images and other knowledge sources, combine that data and enable the customers utilizing the website to query these AI agents, which are scalable as well as smart, to build responses which are equally good as current agents. Right. So now that we have seen the target architecture, let's dig into a little bit more detail on what do we want to achieve in this video. So in this video, we will be looking at existing infrastructure that Nexio has. They have got a products API hosted on their Azure API management instance. We will be building an MCP server, Nexio products MCP server on top of that products API. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. Just like REST has been a standard model for applications interacting with each other over the internet for many, many years now, MCP is a protocol that is used by the LLMs to understand and communicate with organizations' APIs and databases. We will be building a products AI agent as a step number two. This AI agent will receive prompts and will be able to essentially query and understand the products information from the MCP server. As a step number three, we'll make sure that the company's images are stored in the Azure storage blob, and which we will then connect as knowledge sources in the Azure AI search. We will make sure that we define the indexers, and skill sets so that all those images are then converted into skills using Azure AI Vision and OCR. The data will be available for us to then consume from the LLM. So, as a step number five, we will be building images AI agent, which would be able to communicate and essentially pull details from these images and knowledge base data that the company holds. Finally, as a step number six, we will build an orchestrator AI agent. The orchestrator AI agent is going to be communicating with both the products AI agent as well as the images AI agent and essentially be able to collate and collect the data and provide a smart response to the consumer. In this video, we will not be producing and focusing on end-to-end deployment, but we'll be focusing rather than on providing a low-code kind of a solution using Azure AI Foundry and manual deployments to show you guys how all these components can work together to produce a smart agent in a very short span of time. Right. So, okay. So let's get into it. I'm sharing Azure portal. So within the Azure portal, we've got one resource group, and to speed things up, I've got a couple of resources already ready. There is an API management instance, and there is a Nexio AI Foundry, which is Microsoft Azure AI Foundry instance. As we discussed in the architecture, that Nexio Electronics has an existing products API. That products API is fronted by by an API management facade. So if we get into the Nexio's API management service, go down to the APIs, we can see that Nexio has got products API, and there is one endpoint called get products in there, which returns Nexus products information. Obviously, there's some sample data in it. So if I want to make a call to this endpoint, I'm going to get the URL of that over here. I can call it from any REST line. So I normally use recbin if I'm not if I'm testing my API. So if I go in here, I'm going to type that in and send that URL. It's a get endpoint, and what that does is it returns the total 20 products at the moment. There's like information about the product, such as the product name, the category, the brand, the stock, and few other details that are there for each Nextview product, right? So now that we've got the products API and existing API ready, one of the first thing that we want to do is to create an MCP server so that LLMs can connect to this API. MCP stands for the Model Context Protocol, and that is the language that LLMs understand. The good thing is that the within the Azure API management service, Microsoft has got MCP servers as a preview feature already baked in. So if we go on there, you can actually go and create an MCP server. If we select that, there is two options in there. Either we can expose an existing MCP server which has been hosted in, say, for example, an app service, or we can expose an existing API which is in this APIM as a facade as an MCP server. So that works well for us. So I'm going to choose that option. I'm going to choose the API. So I'm going to choose the products API. I'm going to choose the get products endpoint. If there are more than one operations, it does display the options for you. I'm going to call it Nexio MCP server, and I'm going to give that same as a description. So once we give that details, we can hit create, and pretty swiftly it creates an MCP server, which kind of looks like an HTTP endpoint. That's what it is. It's following an MCP protocol, and it's now available to be connected to the LLMs. We've got this ready now, so now we can go on and create our agents in the AI Foundry. So if I go back in my subscription and hence the resource group, I've already kind of spun up this Nexio AI Foundry instance. So if I click on that within the Azure AI Foundry, kind of a key central place or hub to do operations around Foundry is the Foundry portal. So I'm going to go to the Foundry portal, which brings us to this view. The Foundry portal is kind of the central hub where you can go in and create your agents and models and fine tune them and optimize them, and basically do a lot of other things with regards to the AI agents and workflows. This is the Microsoft kind of legacy view. It's not that old, but there is a new view available, which you can go in and kind of trigger by clicking this new Foundry option. I'm going to flip that to yes, because It's quite a nice view. I quite like it. I think it makes your life easy, and kind of in terms of navigating and creating workflows with number of agents working together. The view over here is much easier. We can start building, but before we go there, we can see that there is a project's endpoint for the Foundry as well as the project API key. This can be used in programmatic access whenever you are accessing the AI Foundry from, say, your Python code or within other code areas. If we click Start Building, you can see that we can design workflows, create agents, or browse the models. Let's just go and create workflows. So workflows are kind of orchestration area. It makes visually very easy to build AI agents which interact with other agents and work together collectively to create that smart agents for your organization to speed up, all that work that you need to do and deliver fast. We are going to go back to agents. Um, okay, I think let's just save this anyway. So I'm just going to call it Nexio AI flow for now. Right. So, okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is basically create an agent. Let's just call it Nexio uh, products agent. Right. So this it takes us to this kind of agent area where we can select the model LLM model that the agent will be using. I'm going to stick with a GPT 4.1. Obviously, there is a lot of models available here. There is the popular models listed in here, and then you can click on Browse More Models, and there's tons and tons of models available to be used in your agent. I'm going to stick with 4.1 because I think for the demo purposes and what we are trying to achieve, it provides sufficient capabilities. And now we need to give the instructions to the agent. So I'm going to go with that. You are a helpful AI agent for Nexio Electronics. You would be asked about Nexio products, and you would look up the product details using tools and return as much information as you can about that product. Um, you may be provided partial details about a product, and you would have to look up um, products in the Nexio products MCP server and return details. I think we should also specify if, if the users ask questions about other products. So based on that, we do not want to deal with other products. We can say, you would answer queries uh, regarding Nexio products only, and would answer below if questions asked about other details, right? So about other orders or areas. Um, so we're going to say, sorry, uh, I do not know. I only deal with Nexio Electronics products. Okay. So we're going to save that. And what that has done is that it has set up the instruction. The next thing to do is is to connect our LLM to the knowledge, which is the tools, and the products API and the MCP servers. So we're going to use tools over here. There's also tools available on the left hand side. Both of them kind of do the same thing. I'm going to stick with this area, so I'm going to choose tools, and you can see it brings up number of tools that the model can connect with. For example, there's file search, Azure AI search, grounding with Bing search, and then there's whole raft of of tools available within the catalog. There's tons and tons of stuff. We what we are interested in is the custom tool, which over here we've got a model context protocol. So I'm going to select that and hit create. And what this wants is for us to choose a unique name for the for this MCP server. So I'm going to call it Nexio MCP server. It needs now the MCP server endpoint. So now we have to go back to the API management, and if you recall, we had this server URL available. So I'm going to select that and go back to the Foundry, paste that over here. Obviously, most non-development environment servers should have authentication. For the sake of the demo, we're not going to configure that, so I'm just going to leave that as unauthenticated and try and connect. Okay, so that's great. So now the MCP server is connected, and we have the prompt ready, and we can start asking questions and inquire, with our agent within the play area. Let's start with the questions. So I'm going to ask, do you have monitors at Nexio Electronics? Uh, if yes, give me names. Right. Okay, so because the first question is going to ask me to approve the context, so I'm going to approve that. And what it does is it has now responded and it said, yes, Nexio Electronics currently has the following monitors, which is the Samsung Odyssey G7 monitor. I'm going to move that a little bit here. And LG Ultrawide 34 monitor. Let's ask it a further question about the LG monitor. Uh, is the LG monitor available in stock? Also provide me more details. And it's going to say, yeah, here you go. The monitor is available in stock at the Nexio Electronics, and here are the details of the 34-inch monitor, and you can see the brand and the model and the category and the price and all the details. And it also is being helpful and asking me if you want further details, we can ask it. So that all works wonderfully. Now let's just ask it a question about a product that is not part of the Nexio Electronics. Um, can you give me details about the um, Meta Ray-Ban, for example, right? So let's just see what it does. And there you go. Sorry, I do not know. I only deal with Nexio Electronics for, so that is what is expected. So now we've got this agent configured and connected to our tools. I'm going to save all of that, and then we're going to start creating our other agents. Right. So the next stage is that we want to now build Nexio AI vision agent. Vision is a key human capability. We as humans, we can see images, we can describe images, we can kind of interpret the text on the images. It's always been a challenge for the computers and AI agents. That's something that now that the AI has made a lot of strides in the recent times. So what we are going to do is basically enable Nexio Vision Agent LLM to essentially get data about a bunch of Nextview products images product knowledge store, which is kind of stored in a storage account. Let's just get into it. So I've created a storage account. This storage account currently has a container called products knowledge. And if I go into it, there's FAQs and images. We are not going to delve into FAQs for now. In the images container, I have uploaded a number of images for various Nexio products. Obviously, these are not Nexio products. It's just for the sake of demonstration. So I want to clarify that. But Nexio Electronics may be selling them or reselling them. Nonetheless, these are images which basically either they are images of the products or the packaging, and those images internally contain text in those images as well. So what we are going to do is build um, a capability within the Nexio AI search that's using Azure AI search. I've already spun it up, and we are going to connect the images knowledge store with the AI search. And then we are going to add something called skill sets, which enables AI search to add computer vision, OCR, image analysis, language translation, and all those kind of AI capabilities to basically, before it index the data in its store, enrich the data, raw data, and then augment it with those capabilities. So we're going to ingest the raw data, which is images, basically in AI search. We are going to then put skill sets around it. We're going to use OCR, optical character recognition. We're going to use image analysis, and then we're going to output all of that kind of enriched data into the output fields, and get that in the AI search. And finally, to wrap it up, we want to build Nexio AI Vision agent in the Microsoft AI Foundry, which will be using Azure AI Search as a tool. So then now the agent, LLM agent sitting in that in AI Foundry, will have kind of smart knowledge about the vision, and it will be acting kind of like, have those human capabilities to interpret images and the data. Anyway, let's just get into it. So the first step is to create a data source. We need to connect the storage account with the search service. You can add a data storage directly. You can select the blob storage and the storage account and all those things, or you can just add it using the data source as a storage, as a JSON file. I'm just going to try quickly. I've already kind of prepared this JSON, and all it is saying is that I want to connect a search service. I want you to connect to this particular storage account. That here is the connection string, and I want you to look at these containers. So let's just create that. So it has successfully created a data source now. The next step is basically to create an index within the Azure AI search. An index is basically a schema which kind of defines what what are all the different fields and the structured data that the Azure AI search will be dealing with. Again, you can define an index manually. You can add the fields in here, and then you can select things like filterable, searchable, and all this is telling is if a field is a searchable, then someone querying the Azure AI search can search that data, or if it's filterable, they can filter on that. So it's pretty obvious. I've again to speed things up a bit, I've prepared a JSON for that index. So I'm just going to stick that in here. And all we are doing here is we're creating um, an index called product images index, and it has number of fields like the product name, which is the type is for example string here, and it's searchable is true, filterable is true, and similarly kind of it goes on. You've got OCR text, so we are going to extract text out of those images, and that's going to go in this OCR text. We're going to get image description using the Azure AI Vision image analysis capabilities, and then there is image URL and source and etc. So let's just save that, and that has now created an index for us. The next step for this journey is basically now to add that skill set capability. So as I said, skill sets gives that as a vision and OCR and those AI capabilities to the raw data. Again, you can add a skill set, and it follows a certain format. So you basically define the skills, the input fields, and the output fields. I've again kind of prepared a skill set as a JSON structure. Let's just get into that. So basically, I'm defining a product images skill set, which is going to enrich the images data. It's also going to use cognitive services or vision capabilities. I've given the URL of our Azure AI Foundry instance because that's going to provide that capability. And the skills that we're going to deal with here is image analysis skills, and OCR as well. Oh, I think I forgot to add the OCR skill. So let me just get the OCR capability as well, because we don't want just the image analysis. We want both image analysis and the OCR. So there you go. Now we've got image analysis skill. So this is going to use look at the folders in the storage account, and then basically run Azure AI Vision image analysis. That's going to provide an image description, which is which is something that we can search on. We've also added OCR. OCR stands for the optical character recognition. That's going to pull out any text on the images and put it in OCR text. So let's try and save that. Oh, okay. Not sure what is going on. Let's just see if we can create that again. I'm going to delete that. Um, right. Let's just delete it and add a skill set again. Oh, okay. So got the skill set. Let's try and save it. Wonderful. So the skill set is now saved. Um, all right. So the next kind of key step here is to actually go and define our indexer. Indexer is that step which will run basically those skills on the raw data and kind of do the mappings of the fields from from original fields into an output fields which we can search on. So again, I'm just going to define an indexer using a JSON structure. I prepared the indexer definition, and all it is saying is basically that use this data source which we have already defined, use this skill set and this index, and then basically there's field mappings, from the source field name to the target field name. For example, the storage name is going into the product name, and the image storage path, metadata storage path, is going to the image URL target field, which is what we can basically search on. So let's just see if we can save that. That should then uh, create that index, right? Okay, so the index has now been created. If we refresh it, hopefully it's going to run. It takes a few seconds to run, and then we can see if there's any issue. So if I go into the index now, it shows the execution history, and I can see that it ran in 6 seconds. There was a success. If I hit the success, I can see that there is only one warning with regards to an additional charge for image extraction. I think we can ignore that. If you get stuck with more warnings or errors, there will be that will be something that you can look up and try and resolve. So what this has done now is it has basically indexed all of our images data into the Azure AI search, and it's kind of ready for searching. Before we go um, to the LLM agent, let's just see if we can uh, make sure that we've got that record. So if I go into the indexes and use the search explorer, I'm just going to search, for example, do you have any ASUS record? And there you go. We have got one ASUS RTX graphics card. The OCR text which came from the image, it has been extracted as a text, and a description has been generated. A box of video game console. We will look. We've got the image URL over here as well, and there's more detail. So that seems to have worked. Let's just now go back to the AI Foundry. Um, we are back into the AI Foundry, and we are now going to build this AI vision agent. So I'm just going to create an agent. Right. So I want um, products AI vision agent. Let's just create that. Right. So we need to give the prompt. I'm gonna keep with the selection of the GPT 4.1 as the LLM model. As I said, with there are more models available, but this is sufficient for our demo. So we're gonna give it an instructions. You are have full AI agent working for Nexio Electronics. You would be asked questions about Nexio products. You would then look up the product details using your tools and provide information about the product, packaging, and images details. If you are asked uh, questions about any other product, please reply, sorry, I do not understand. I only deal with Nextio products, just like the other agent. It's kind of standard pattern. Other thing we want to do um, is because the images are in our storage account, we want to make sure that when returning images links, the agent uses the SAX token as well. So I'm just going to put that here as well. And what that is doing is basically if when returning the images, use images link append the SSS token. So I'm going to use that and save it in here. Right. So that is now saved. Um, we just now need to link the AI search with our agent. So, as I say, I want to add Azure AI search. I've already got AI search added as a tool within our area. If it's not added, you can go and add a new tool, and basically the file search and Azure AI search and all those tools are available within here. The tools, once they are connected, gives the capability for the agent to access that product's knowledge. So now we've got that connected. I'm going to save all of that, and let's just see if we can query the agent. Right. So have a do you have a graphics card? Right. So we hit that. Right. So here we go. We've got a response. Basically, Nexi offers a graphics card. The product name is SSROG Strikes RTX 4080. Packaging detail is here as well. So you can see, let me know if you need any more specific information. That information has now come through. So there you go. Right. So now I think we have made quite a lot of progress. We have created the products AI agent. We have created the images AI slash AI vision agent with OCR capabilities, and we have managed to pull all that data from these knowledge sources and consume them through their respective LLM agents. I wanted to cover the consumption of these in a client side as well in this video. When I started making this video, my idea was to cover all of that within like sort of 25 minutes period, but I think we are way over that, and it's going to be a little bit unfair to cover all of that in this video. So I think there's a good case that I split this into part two. In the next part, I will probably cover consumption of these agents from the client side, maybe possibly from the REST clients, possibly from a .NET client or a website, and we may dig deep further into some of the the skill sets areas as well, and in AI vision areas as well. So yeah, please feel free to give any feedback or comments on this video. They always helps, and stay tuned for the next video.